Warm greetings to all of you children. Today our class would be based on the explanation part of a very beautiful poem by Shirley Tolson, A Photograph. There is always a contrast between the eternal state of nature and the transitory state of human beings. How? Let us understand this through the very famous poem by Shirley Tolson, A Photograph. Before we start the poem, let us know something about the poet. Shirley Tolson was a poet, teacher, educational journalist, and editor, and the author of books about walks along the ancient tracks and roads of Britain. Shirley Tolson was born on 20th May 1924 and in Henley-on-Thames, England, as the daughter of Douglas Horsfall Dixon and Marjorie Brown. She had a huge passion on writing and was greatly influenced by her father, who was a writer too. She secured a BA on literature from Brockenhurst College in London in the year 1953. Poetry had been a favorite occupation since childhood. Her first exuberant poem was written at the age of 8. The appeal of her work is in its honesty, sharp observation, and a kind of compassionate alertness with which she addresses themes like family and childhood, memory and place. The work in her final private collection, A Lifetime of Poetry, is wide-ranging, touching, technically very accomplished, and will last. Among her other books was A Companion Guide to Devon, 1996. Shirley Tolson died at the age of 94 in September 23, 2018. Children, let us read the poem, A Photograph. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so, all three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face my mother's, that was before I was born, and the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Some 20-30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. See Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Both ray with the labored ease of loss. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of this circumstance there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. Try to understand. I'm giving you one brief summary of the poem. The photograph pasted on the cardboard. The photograph pasted on the cardboard shows or depicts a picture of, it's a very beautiful picture, beautiful moment. Betty and Dolly, they are the two cousins of the poetess's mother. Now they had gone for a vacation to the sea. So they were in a sea holiday and they were paddling in the sea. Now their uncle had gone with a camera. We often do that, right? Whenever we go for a vacation, be it in the hills, be it in the sea, wherever we go, we want to treasure that moment, that particular moment. It happens in our practical life. So their uncle had gone with a camera. Now the poetess's mother was around, she was a big girl, she was around 12 years or so. And one of the cousins was holding the poetess's mother's hands. Fine. So it was a beautiful moment and three beautiful smiling faces were captured. I mean, the camera captured three beautiful smiling faces. But the poet has also said that their feet, the footprints of their feet, were washed by the sea waves. So this is a transience of life. Let me give you one very simple example. Whenever you walk along the sea beach, you leave your footprints there on the sand, and immediately waves after waves they come and they wash them away. So the moment, this present moment, suppose I'm teaching you right now. So this present moment will be washed away and it will be replaced by another moment. So moments after moments are heaved in our life, right? So what does a photograph do actually? It treasures a particular moment. It treasures a particular moment so that we cherish it for the rest of our lives. Now after a lapse of time, now see, the poet's mother was a very sweet girl. She had a sweet face then. And this picture took place even before the birth of the poet. So her mother, the poet's mother, was around 12 years or so. She was a big girl then. Now the poet has also tried to analyze that she has changed over the years. Over the years she has changed. So after a lapse of time, say some 20 or 30 years later, the poet's mother would laugh at the snapshot. As we do very often if we take a picture, we see any picture that was taken in our childhood, and we often laugh at it. Oh my God, how funny did I look? So after a lapse of time, say some 20 or 30 years later, the poet's mother would laugh at the snapshot. She would refer to the photograph and recollect how her cousins Betty and Dolly had dressed themselves for the beach when they went on a sea holiday. So it was a sea holiday and they went on a beach, right? She laughs as she sees the scanty dress. So why does she laugh? She laughs as she sees the scanty dress. You take a photograph on your hand and you laugh because you remember that moment, right? You remember that moment. You cherish that moment, right? That moment, it is not possible for that moment to come to you all at once, but you're cherishing it. You're cherishing the memory of it, right? So this is the transience of a life. The moment that we have already passed, it can only be relived through a photograph, or when we try to recall that particular moment, right? This sea holiday was an event of her past. Her laughter is real and pleasant for the poet. Now the poet admired the real and pleasant feeling of her mother. It is a precious memory for her. Both her holiday and her laughter, both her holiday of poet's mother, and her laughter at seeing the particular moment, at memorizing, at recalling the particular memory of that beautiful moment. Both these things are amusing in an ironic way, as they are linked with her loss, which requires a forced state of freedom from pain. A forced state of freedom from pain. In our life, there are pains and pleasures, right? Now, what is the pain for the poet? The loss of the mother's life, right? Now, the poet is actually living this loss. But from this painful state, she is trying to release herself into the state of freedom, where she would recall how her mother once laughed at seeing the particular picture, right? Now the poet's mother is dead for nearly as many years as that girl in the picture lived. The poet feels at a loss of words to comment on this event, her death. The poet, as the child of her mother, she cannot comment on the poet's mother's death, on the mother's death. She cannot comment. She is too full for words. She cannot accept that. There are certain times in our life where we have to accept certain truths, certain harsh truths of our life. The poet feels at a loss of words. She cannot feel. She doesn't have any words to convey her feelings, but utter silence. It is a solemn moment, and its silence makes her silent. The silence of the moment makes her silent. Thus the poetess pays a tribute to her mother. It's the old photograph that moves her to silence. Now children, this silence is very, very meaningful. The word is silence, but it's full of words. What are that? What is that? First of all, there is two meanings of this word silence. First of all, silence here literally means the poet's mother is no more. She has become silent. She is dead. Now, what is the other meaning? This silence of the dead has made the poet silent. She is too full for words. She doesn't have any words to console herself. She is at a loss, at the loss of her mother. Okay?